and I thank you for the opportunity today. Today, in a hearing entitled The Rise of Domestic Terrorism in America, all I have heard from the Democrats on this committee and from their witnesses is white supremacy and far-right extremism, while completely ignoring the riots, destruction, and violence of Antifa and BLM we saw all last year and that continues. All forms of domestic terrorism are criminal, but in order to properly address the threats, we need to talk about all types of domestic terrorism, including Antifa and BLM. The Democrats have chosen to either ignore, condone, or even embrace this violence from Antifa and Black Lives Matter. The Democratic majority and Democratic members of this committee have downplayed Antifa's violence and status as domestic terrorist organizations. They have claimed that Antifa keeps, quote, protesters safe when a lot of other folks won't, and stated that Antifa is, quote, false issue and, quote, a myth. The term domestic terrorism is defined in federal law as, quote, involving acts dangerous to human life that are in violation of the criminal laws of the United States or of any state and appear to be intended to intimidate, coerce a civilian population, to influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion, or to affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping. At this time, I'd like to play a video. Please don't tell me what to do. Thank you. Mr. Henderson, after watching that video and listening to the reading of my definition under federal law of what domestic terrorism is, I ask you, do you believe that what you saw in that video meets the elements of domestic terrorism? Yes or no?
I will respond simply by saying we can all condemn violence.
I'm asking you to answer the question, yes or no?
I will not. No, I will not answer it yes or no.
Okay, well, I'll take that as a no. Mr. German, this is my time. Mr. German, Mr. German, the video that you just watched, do you define that? Would you call that domestic terrorism, yes or no?
Again, unless
it's very easy. You just watched the video of what occurred. Yes or no? Do you determine that under the federal law of domestic terrorism? Yes or no? Yes or no?
That's the problem. You're showing a piece of video.
I'll give Mr. Nance.
The gentleman is not allowing the witness to answer the question.
No, I gave a question which is yes or no. That's how they can answer. Mr. Nance, yes or no? You're on mute.
No, it's civil disobedience. We have codes for
Oh, so
that.
that's civil
okay, people will
disobedience,
ever
burning
have
down,
another Super Bowl for.
creating $80 billion worth of damage across our country. That's civil disobedience. But what occurred here on January 6th was domestic terrorism. I yield back.
That was insurrection.